Hello, everybody. My name is Puppetine from the Geeky Pup Show. Yes, you are not imagining anything. You can see me, your emperor. But we're here on the Geeky Pup Show today for what? For the Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 2. And joining me, as always, of course, is Zach.
What's up? I'm in bubble mode just because I saw myself on the YouTube, and in case I freeze, I don't want to look silly.
You always look silly.
That's also true, but this is slightly less silly.
And the only Star Wars show that we can actually get Froggy to join for Mandalorian because he's Froggy. Froggy!
That's not true. I joined Bad Batch just as a viewer.
Okay. Technically, yes, I suppose.
Yeah.
But we are here today for Episode 2 of The Mandalorian, The Mines of Mandalore. Ha-ha. Yes.
Ooh.
So, we start off this episode on Tatooine.
God, again with the tattoo. Every Star Wars show to be on Tatooine at some point. It's like a contract.
You know,
Sorry, I'm done.
it's a great place where everybody gets tattoos in the galaxy.
Yes, and there's a lot of sand, and it's coarse and rough, and gets everywhere.
I would know.
I hate it. But here's what we're going to go ahead and say. They're on Tatooine, of course, seeing the old mechanic lady that we're familiar with, and the pit droids, and they're trying to scam someone off.
Yes.
But when Mando comes in, he needs a droid.
Palemoto.
Yes. And basically, instead of being able to fix up IG-11, she says, no, you could just take my astromech for a price.
Yes, it's the R5D4.
Yeah, I5D4 from A New Hope. Uncle Owen, this R5 unit has a bad motivator. That's Luke Skywalker. That's a really bad Luke Skywalker, but yeah.
Is it supposed to be the same R5?
It's the same R5. Yep.
I didn't realize that. I thought maybe this week, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I thought it was because, I mean, first of all, I just recognized the red and white, color scheme of them. But then I looked at it.
Wow, you're assuming based off of color?
Off of colors.
That's a very exact thing to do.
If it came from anybody else, you would say, wow, who let Zach on here? So I just figured I would go ahead and jump on it before someone stole it.
There's a lot of Easter eggs in this. There's a Rodian. Well, basically, the most famous Rodian is
Rodian.
I call him Rodian. I call him Rhodey for short. We're tight.
That's Marvel.
Haha.
Yes, he's cheating.
Yes,
Zach is right.
Marvel.
Froggy is cheating. He's looking at an article.
Well, you know that Marvel does own, is owned by Disney, so yeah. So Rhodey technically is part of the Star Wars universe.
No. Okay.
They're all connected.
Anyway.
I don't think that's how it works.
The astromech is what Din says. Okay, fine. All right. You're going to take out the stupid bubble on my Naboo starfighter, and you'll put in the astromech. And off to Mandalore. And this is the first time we've seen Mandalore since Clone Wars Season 7.
Yeah,
it's all crystallized on the surface. All the damaged good. It's been ravaged by the Empire. Desolate. Really even see it in action, actually.
It is kind of cool to see that Concordia, the moon that they use in the Clone Wars. Concordia.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, of course. You know it just off the top of your head.
Don't be jealous because I like to keep our viewers informed.
But yes, they go down to Mandalore and they start making their way downtown, walking fast. Sorry, something else. But yeah, no, they send in the unit because they're not sure if they can breathe.
R5 goes in, they're tracking him on the little radar. You go, ping, ping, and then he's gone.
Did he just say little Rhaegar? He's not here yet.
I didn't say little gray guy, but apparently you want him. You can have him. He hasn't shown up in the past couple of episodes.
Ooh. Yes. But yeah, the radar shows as
Yes.
R5 disappears. Dun dun. So he pressurizes his helmet and he decides to go in, and there are basically the Mandalorian equivalent to Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, the Elamites.
The Alamos. Yeah.
I thought they were the Star Wars equivalent. I was thinking of the Morlocks from the Time Machine, but yeah, sure, we can say Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, they're basically the trolls you see in Willow.
Oh yeah, they kind of. Yeah, I guess maybe.
But yeah, it's almost and it's also like the monsters at Sesame Street.
They reminded me of Sweetums, actually. The guy in the giant suit, the Muppets suit, kind of like Sweetums.
He has long flowing silver hair. It's very.
Hey, you guys!
We're
Wait
gonna
for
eat the
me!
Mandalorians.
I want to go to Hollywood.
We're gonna eat the Mandalorians.
What?
Yes.
Well, that's
Williams
what they
doesn't
do, huh?
eat anybody.
So the cool,
I
the
like
really
that.
cool
He's
thing
eating
about this
somebody.
is later on we get to see as he's basically going down through the here. Here's some of the concept art.
mines?
At the end of the episode, they show concept art, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You see him he's obviously not in the concept. He's carrying Baby Yoda, but in actual reality, Baby Yoda's in his little floating pod.
Yeah, he's got his sweet crib.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of cool as they went down into like the underground cave system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they find out that they are able to breathe, and so you put the baby in his floating crib, and they go on down.
Oh my gosh, they're like in the sewer system. I'm getting like, oh my gosh, are we gonna see another giant crocodile?
Not this
We
time.
kind of did. It was the little baby one that had wings.
Yeah, I think it's called a dragon.
That was actually funny.
Here's the thing though. When they go down there, they see this weird, not a kind of like a cyborg. There was something sentient in there, and it was only in the head, but it had a robot body that it must have built itself.
And for those who watched Lost in Space on Netflix. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Here you go. Right here.
The space is getting smaller.
You can take off that comment. Cool, nice matter.
They do. If you watch The Bad Batch, you would know that.
That's not a comment. It's his name.
Oh, it is his name. It looks like a comment on screen. I was like, Froggy Cheats. Yes. So yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, he crawls out of this big machine because basically he takes the Mandalorian, or as Din, as I like to call him, we're best friends.
You call him Din?
Yes. Takes him hostage. He's gonna hook him up to this machine and start pumping his blood out.
And so he lays there and he says, "Baby Yoda, go get Bo-Katan."
And so Boba, or Baby Yoda, I was gonna call him Boba. Yeah, that little bitch right there. He gets in his little pod, and he goes out, and he's chased by the
crocodile with wings. You call him a dragon.
Baby Yoda yeets him using his yeet powers.
Well, no, Baby Yoda yeets the Alamite.
Yeah.
Does he eat the dragon?
The
I thought
if you don't have time, Baby Yoda.
The dragon tries to fly and actually does fly into the Naboo starfighter once the pod closes.
Yes.
Not that it really matters. He basically gets away.
They go back to Bo-Katan and basically say like, "Hey, and she's like, "Where's Mando?" He's like, "Oh," and then they look at the flight log, and then she goes, "They leave in her ship. They're gonna fly back to the planet again, and they're led down to the cave, and now this is where we get to see how much Bo-Katan is much better with the dark lightsaber.
The dark saber.
The dark.
Here's that giant beast that we saw before. That the little creature.
He's got the article. He's got the article in front of him. He still can't call it the right name.
Oh, what?
The dark saber. It's not the dark lightsaber. That just sounds like you're
It's
racist towards lightsabers.
It's a freaking lightsaber saber. Who cares? It's a saber that's lit up. It's got batteries. It's glowing. Who cares? I'm sorry. You want to be so Star Wars anal about everything.
Yes, we do. You're the one who's claiming to know these things, but you don't really know anything.
I'm not claiming to know anything.
That's a pretty cool picture, actually. I like that.
Yeah, there's more concept art. You see the little skeleton in the background. There's a guy hanging up on the left side. You know, this. It's like I kind of like that, the design stuff of this and all.
Yeah, I like this droid design, the crab droid thing. That was pretty cool.
So then eventually, after all this, she rescues him from like this giant crab robot. That almost looks like it has MODOK's single eye in there. The machine. They go down the temple, the Larzar, and I gotta say, so Mandalorian starts taking his armor off. You know, after she gives a little speech about how it was just for show. It wasn't really, it's just fake. The religion stuff, trying to dissuade him. At first I thought he gets pulled in the water, but I think he's just a dumbass and falls off the cliff. He just sinks to the bottom.
I thought he because armor is Beskar, which is like a super dense metal in Star Wars. Like it can stand up the lightsaber.
So she's forced to go down there, and for copyright purposes, I had to change the music for this. This is cool. She goes on and saves him. We get to see the giant monster.
I thought you were gonna have something like Benny Hill music, but that was so much better.
But yeah, and that's pretty much once they get up to the to the land again. That's where the episode ends. It's pretty solid.
Yeah, no, this was definitely. I feel like it was over last week's episode.
Yeah.
I did like how he finally got to. It doesn't feel like it. I thought that they were gonna like drag out the whole go to Mandalore, get in the war. I thought they were gonna drag that out for the whole season. So it is kind of see like we're gonna go there like episode 2, just get the whole thing knocked out. So yeah, that was cool. I appreciate that.
And nearly get knocked out while seeing the Mythosaur.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, overall it's a pretty solid episode. I think that it's really really solid. I enjoyed seeing Din kind of just tucked away and Bo-Katan getting a moment to shine. When she pulled out the Darksaber and she had this little shield thing, I was like, yes.
She proves that she knows how to wield it. Well, she is more skilled at fighting. He's just a guy with a blaster.
Well, remember too, I mean, Bo-Katan, if you've watched Clone Wars, you know how much of a badass Bo-Katan is. Like she fought in the Clone Wars when there was like the Death Watch cult trying to take over the planet, and she fought against Darth Maul and his troopers. So there's Bo-Katan's got a history.
I'll just say this: that Katie Sackhoff fits out that uniform great.
God, doesn't she though? Good night. Yeah,
but you can't like her though because she's probably she's old, bro. She's like a Michelle Pfeiffer to you.
No, Katie Sackhoff is way more attractive than Pfeiffer.
What the fuck is wrong with you? What do you speak? What did you say?
One more time.
What? That's great. Oh.
I need that music for a ringtone now or something.
Anyway, yeah, no, it's pretty solid. So now it's time for Marani's favorite part of this episode where, what does Baby Yoda think?
I think his head got bigger than yours.
Are you trafficking him again? Why is he with you?
Well, Baby Yoda says that he thinks that this episode, he was a little spooked out by the darkness, the dark scenes, and he was there, so he should know.
You and me both, Grogu.
Yeah, you beat me too, you son of a...
What?
We were both creeped out by the dark scenes.
Of course you were creeped out by the dark scenes, Zach. Yeah, it'll break your eyes. But yeah,
Ed
no,
Brewer, I would definitely. I'm sorry. Ed Brewer in the chat said that he dropped off after season 1. I think season 2 is definitely worth a watch. There's some great stuff in season 2, especially the episodes with Bill Burr. It's fantastic.
Yeah, especially, did you see that the scene here? And they chose better music now.
don't do it. Why are you the way you talk?
Okay, I feel like 3 times is enough.
That's more than enough.
Yeah.
You're going to get the mouse's eyes on that now.
The mouse's eyes? Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, basically solid episode. It's better than last week's, but it's still not as good as Bad Batch. Bad Batch was better this week.
Bad Batch, yeah. If it was like a normal Bad Batch filler like we've had, then I would say that this episode was better, but Bad Batch brought it this week. So it beats out this episode, even though this is stronger than last week's season premiere. Definitely.
Well, I'll just say this. George Lucas gave them permission to do everything, so it is George Lucas canon.
Well, if you want to consider what is canon to George Lucas, Thrawn isn't George Lucas canon. Because nothing that he didn't make wasn't really canon to him. So, I mean, if you want to go that way about it, it's
the Marvel adapted comic books aren't canon either.
And those are based off the movie.
All that matters
what's the giant green
is what he worked on. So
yeah.
You want to look at what he worked on. You have the movies and you have Clone Wars the show, and that's
pretty much it. Yeah.
He doesn't really care about the video game. He doesn't really care about the comics. All that is beyond him, and you basically gave it a stamp of approval when it came up.
Apparently, it just shows up after I showed the video.
Oh God, he's gonna do it a 4th time.
Not a 4th time.
May the 4th be with you.
This might be Zach's second divorce if I don't show the video.
Wow.
That's not a good thing, Froggy. That's a little bit much.
I didn't say it's a good thing. That'd be horrible.
Anyway, yeah. So we all enjoyed the episode, pretty much.
Yes.
And we'll be back next week. But we will not be reviewing it this late. We should be able to review it within the 10 o'clock EST hour next Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Farewell.
Live long, one more time. One more time.
No.
With feeling.
God.